everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my 5 top tips to get your baby to sleep through the night. So I just want to start by saying I am in no way an expert in any way, shape or form. These are just things that have worked really well for my girls. So just from experience, they are just things that I have used for both of them and have been really beneficial to us. Obviously every child is different, but I wanted to share what I have found helpful to see if they can help any of you. So we have been really lucky with both the girls. They both slept amazingly pretty much from the start. I mean, Florence was after her silent reflux, so since she was about 8 weeks old. Bella slept really well pretty much from the off. So I have been really lucky, which I'm aware some children you just cannot settle. You know, I was one of those children, as my parents tell me a lot. So these are just things that I have found really helpful to us. So my first tip is routine. I am a massive fan myself of routines. I try and stick to the same one in my day-to-day life because I like to know personally what I've got left to do, what I haven't done in the day, what I have done in the day. And I like to sort of have a checklist so I know at the end of the day that I have done everything, because I personally get quite anxious if I have missed stuff out or if there's things I haven't completed, and I worry that there's things that will all go over till the next day and it will all build up on me. So I personally really like to have a routine so that I know I'm doing things right. And I've then tried to help the girls get into a routine because I think it's beneficial to them, because they seem to like to know what's coming next. So they'll be like, oh, it's tea time, and then we have a bath, and then we get dressed, and then we'll have a little bit of downtime, and then we go to bed. So I personally really like routines, and the girls seem to both take really well to having a routine, especially at their bedtime. My second tip would be a comforter. Now both my girls have got comforters. Bella still actually uses her comforter, and she is 2. She has a little musical owl, which I think is the Fisher-Price owl. I will link it below. And she still loves it. She won't go to bed without it. It just plays music and lights up. I will put it in so you can see it at the end of the video. And Florence has like a cube. Well, she has 2 comforters actually. She has a cube which has like a projector at the top with all the lights coming out and plays just music and some nature sounds. And then she has her little lamb which plays white noise and music. And the thing I really like about the lamb is that it's one of those sound censored ones, because in the morning quite often before Florence is actually ready to get up, she'll wake up and she'll have a little chat about 5-10 minutes, and with that one it will just play some music, so she'll just drift back to sleep, whereas otherwise I might have to get up and press her cube so she drifts back off. So comforters, I really like comforter. My third tip would be blackout blinds. We have blackout blinds in Bella's room and blackout curtains in Florence's room, and they have just been amazing, especially for daytime naps as well. But obviously at night time in the summer, I like the girls to go down about 7 o'clock because then I find that they hopefully wake up at 7 o'clock the next morning, which works out quite well with us, with Chris getting up for work and everything. So I like them to go to bed about 7 o'clock, and it also means, you know, you get a bit of an evening to yourself. So I find in the summer they're really helpful, because obviously it's still light outside till about 9-10 o'clock in the summer, and in the mornings obviously it gets light about, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock sometimes in the mornings in the summer. So you could end up, both my children are really light sleepers, really sensitive sleepers, and if they didn't have blackout blinds they would be waking up and they would not be happy because they wouldn't have had enough sleep. So I love blackout blinds. My fourth tip would be dream feeding. Now, I never had to do this with Bella. As I say, she always slept really well. But Florence went through a stage where she would go to sleep at about like 7 o'clock, and then she'd wake up about 11 or half 11. And I normally go to bed about 10, half 10. So I decided that I would start dream feeding, because I was going to bed about 10:30, and I'd then obviously get woken up about 11, half 11, and it was really tiring because I prefer to have like an hour, and then get up, whereas half an hour, well, I prefer to have a little bit more than an hour, but half an hour I found really hard because you just start to drift off and then you have to wake up again. And that I personally found really difficult. So I found if I went to bed and did a dream feed at about 10, half 10ish, she would sleep till about 1 in the morning, which was amazing. So I love dream feeds. I'd never done them before, but I'd read about them and I gave it a go. And if anyone hasn't heard of them at all or hasn't tried it, how I did it, which I found worked, was I just lifted her up really, really quietly and carefully, and then I would just lay her on me in the bed, be sitting up in the bed and just lay her on me, and then I would just get the bottle or the nipple, whatever you're doing, and just pop it just below their top lip, just in the middle of their lips, and then she would just start sucking, and she would take the whole bottle, and because they're in such a sleepy state, just literally sit her up, didn't even need to pat her back. Sometimes you'd have to give it a little pat, but most of the time we just sit her up and the wind would just come up because she's so sleepy, and then you just lay her back down and she would go back to sleep, and it was amazing. So I absolutely loved it, and yeah, I would definitely recommend dream feeding if you want to work the timing in a little bit better so you get a bit more sleep, and let's face it, who doesn't want a bit more sleep? So my 5th tip is going to be quite hard for me to explain really. It's all about the actual bedtime that you put them down. So basically, if you have a child who you're putting down about 7 and they're waking up about 5, half 5, and you're thinking, oh, if only I could have an extra hour, it would be like a full night's sleep. And I know most people are like, 7 to half 5, that's amazing, which it is, but just to push it a bit more, if you want to have a little bit more, what I read about, because I was having this, I was putting Florence down at 7 and she was waking up about 5. So I read that if you tried putting them down a little bit earlier, then maybe they'd sleep a bit later. So sleep promotes sleep. So I started putting her down at 6:30 and she now wakes up at 7:30. So it's amazing and it has worked for us. So yeah, I would definitely recommend giving that a try. If you would like to try and get a little bit more sleep in the mornings, then why not give it a try? If it doesn't work, then you've tried it. It worked for me. I thought it sounded a bit, thinking, oh, putting her down, surely she's going to wake up even earlier. But as I say, sleep promotes sleep, and it really does in our case. So yeah, worth a try. Earlier bedtime maybe. They're my 5 top tips. I hope you've enjoyed them. If you have any questions, please ask me. I will put the links below to both the comforters, the 3 comforters, so I mentioned the lamb as well, if you are interested at all. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.